doing? This is 100 Keep It, and we're back again with another sit down Sunday at the Soul Socket, 1801 Jefferson Street, Suite 204. As always, I got my guy here. I'm letting him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Brother Sanchez Bay, aka Chainsaw Charlie, founder and CEO of Star Apparel, co-founder of Chop It Up Barbershop, 210 Gagton Pike South, Madison, Tennessee. We appreciate y'all. Tap in.
Now, as always, like I said, I'm going to try to make this an every Sunday thing. So anybody with an open mind is welcome to come sit down with us. This Sunday, last Sunday we talked about change and growth.
Yeah.
So this Sunday, the topic is going to be, how does the world see black people? And for me, I thought about, first thing I thought about was, how did I see black people? You know, my perspective has changed from how I used to think about black people to what I think about black people now. So, for instance, when it comes to business, you know, you always hear, I ain't dealing with black people no more, man. I ain't fooling with them. They don't do good business. That's it. I'm going to the white people, whatever. I used to say that. I used to think that. There's like, man, they just don't know what they're doing, or I don't got to give them another chance, but I'm going to give another black person a chance. Or I'll wait till I run into another black person. You know, I just don't want to count us out, because I would hate for me to have one bad day or some type of mishap or a mistake happen, and somebody like, see, that's why I don't buy black shoes from black people. They just don't do right. And you know, it could have just been a bad day. So I don't want nobody saying, nah, I'm going to go to the other people. So it's just like, I changed my perspective, like maybe when I was, I don't know, like in my early 20s, I just changed my perspective of how I think about black people. And because I already knew we don't get a good light from the world. You know, black people is just looked at as like, you know, gang members, thugs, ignorant, in which I just took that ignorant black person out of my vocabulary. For in my mind, I look at all black people as misguided. Not all, but a lot. A lot of majority of black people are just misguided. And to me, that's just facts. We've been misguided, been miseducated. And if you're miseducated, you're most definitely going to be misguided. You don't know which way to go in the world. You may think you do, but you don't. I mean, you're going in a way that the direction that who's ever taught you, they want you to go. And they could be whoever, you know, the man, the government, or, you know, whoever people may consider as they. But, I mean,
So are we talking about how you see them, or are we talking about how the world see black people? For the first question. I know it's two parts, but, you know, before I particularly answer, the way the world sees us and the way we see ourselves is definitely two different ways. It's like two different worlds, but you got to understand, when you talking about us collectively, we definitely painted in a bad light, and we definitely don't help the narrative by the way we go about it sometimes. Cause some people say yes sir to you, some people kill you for stepping on their shoe, but then they'll go say yes sir as soon as another man pull up. You know, so instantly, a man will shoot you. A so-called black man will shoot you for passing by his block, but then as soon as the police pull up, he drop his gun and take off running. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit right here and say we ignorant, because they got sense. We have sense, but it's just the point we've been programmed, we've been miseducated to kill our own kind, do the own work. Like they say, the Ku Klux Klan ain't got to do the work no more, because we out doing it for them. Right. So we definitely painted in a bad light, but at the end of the day, a lot of people don't want to discuss that a lot of original things come from us as a people.
Most definitely. I've always thought that, from especially this designs and clothes and things like that. A lot of it comes from black people. A lot of it. Like I never came up being one of the ones that just got like misjudged by. I mean, I've always, like, I ain't got pulled over in police. What gang you in? Y'all see you got the colors on. Just go and tell me what gang. Like, but I've never been like one of those who got pulled over and just really harassed and just misjudged. Like, you a thug, ain't you? Get out the car, spread your cheeks. Let me, you know, I just never been in that situation. You know, I mean, it could have happened, but for some reason I just never been. I think I always know how to conduct myself around authority, and it's not more so like, and I treat authority the same way I would treat a regular person. It's no difference. I don't act crazy with you and then get, you know, act buck wild with them and act real professional with them. Right. Or act like, oh, I don't know, it's just, I don't, my energy doesn't change when I'm around officers and when I'm around, you know, your ordinary person.
Right.
It for me, it just doesn't change.
Yeah. But like I say, the world sees us, regardless of how people feel, the world sees us is definitely miseducated, definitely a people who don't have no work ethic, definitely a people who feel like everything is owed to them. And some stuff may be valid in a sense, but you got to understand, are you one of the people that say because of slavery, segregation, the civil rights movement, Jim Crow, that's the reason why you ain't got what you got? If you one of them people, then you may be more inclined, you may be more thinking you deserve something that you ain't willing to work for. But even though you know all these things, the fact that you get up and still work is going to make the difference in you complaining about something, because you have other foreign people that come to this country and they'll go get the gas station that we overlook every day. But then when they get it, we'll be like, man, they ain't out hood making money. And for a lot of so-called black people, we spend so much money, and if it's so much dangerous in the hood, why does these foreigners come by and live in that neighborhood to make money? So the money is there. We just overlooking, like with gentrification, with all this property that's being bought, we had a chance to get all this. So at the end of the day, you got to start learning. You got to sit back and say, okay, I'm not gonna fall into the narrative of what they paint about black people, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna work hard. So you gotta be willing to put in the work, and that's gonna separate you from saying, this is how the world see black people, and this is how I know we really are, and this is how I know, cause we got sense, we got plenty of sense, but it's just we don't like to apply it. The culture don't pay you for being intelligent.
And that makes sense, and it goes to show like the way we act. You know, we only get looked at one type of way on TV. You know. Cause I'm gonna be honest, I only tune in when there's some ignorant shit going on. That's the only time I used to, but now it's like I'm more so, I want to see what the other part of us have to offer. You know, instead of just the loud drink throwing, cursing, baby mama, baby daddy, this drama. Like, it just gets old. You know, like I'm tired of looking at it. You know, but I guess we aren't tired of looking at ourselves in that picture, and as long as we aren't tired of it and other people aren't tired of it, then the people who's putting it out there, they're going to continue to do it.
But that's what entertainment is. You got to understand, with all these political current events that was going on, from George Floyd to whoever the case may be, the fact that we'll get so much off track so fast, at the snap of a finger, 1 minute we'll be on key, then they throw us something else and we back off.
Yeah, we back.
So you got to understand, I done seen people out there twerking in front of the police, in front of Black Lives Matter. So you find time to dance in a matter that's so serious, at a turning point in history. The fact that we out there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you be serious?
How can they take us serious?
If I'm gonna go, well, don't you know other police officers, if it's two police officers working together, he want to make sure this other officer got his back and squeeze. So if I'm gonna go to war with you with this Black Lives Matter so-called particular point of view, I need to make sure you're gonna have my back, and I don't need you turking right now. I don't need you doing that. So that's why I be saying that people be crucifying me. People be crucifying me when I be like, nah, y'all gotta understand, you can't go fight for somebody who ain't gonna fight for themselves. If we in the streets and somebody rob me, you dead, I'm like, come on, man, let's go get him. You need to see what I'm gonna do first. Don't put your life on the line and lose your family, and I ain't finna go right. So it's the same thing with these political views. Why I'm gonna go put myself on the line, man, listen here. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, all these people didn't done it. They put themselves on the line, and are we really holding up to their standards? So when people be like, man, why LeBron, why Oprah, why them ain't putting no money to do all this, you think they gonna put up their whole life to do something that you're not gonna
follow through with it.
Now I'm not telling you be for yourself, but until a man save his family, he ain't got no business trying to save a world of people.
Most definitely.
How you gonna save a whole world? You ain't even saved your family.
And I used to think like that too, man. I used to be like, man, they got all this money. They can just, smallest thing, they can turn over and like make a lot different. But it takes a lot of people to make that difference. Like, y'all, they really can't do it on their own.
They can't.
No matter what. I hear all the time, why can't you put Ross, Diddy, and Master P, and Oprah, and all these people in the same room and have them? Yeah. But to be honest, that's like, if somebody was saying, get us, a bunch of people, us in the room to help make a change, and we putting up our hard-earned money to make, I'd be like, Let me see how they let me see what they can do for themselves first.
And all we're going to find is a difference before we come to agreement. If you put all us in the same room, all we're going to do is figure out what makes us different, not what's going to make us united on one common ground.
Right.
But if you think Master P and them, Oprah and Diddy and them ain't had them particular people might not have had a conversation, but if you think they ain't thought like it, every poor child grows up and sees the way the world is and says, when I get older and I get rich, I'm going to do something different about the world. But guess what happened? You know who's going to cut LeBron a $100 million check? I know a person that look like me and you. So guess what? That $100 million check come from a person that don't look like me and you. And when it don't come from a person that look like me and you start to begin to say, okay, for me to keep getting my checks, I gotta operate a certain type of way. Now, some of these people might be willing to do it, but is they willing to do it to put their children back in poverty just because their checks gonna stop for speaking up about that? You see what I'm saying? And the person I think who the most prominent with doing it and still getting a check is Kanye to me. People can say what they want to about Kanye, but you will see him say that you ain't gonna silence me, you ain't gonna do this. He done went broke, got back to billions. He is the most prominent person that I can say. He borderline, a genius is borderline crazy, so you got to understand. He might say some stuff you don't agree with, but if you wait for somebody to say one thing throughout his whole life that make you say that's why you don't fuck with them or you don't like them, you just a person, you just a judgmental ass person anyways. You can say something I don't like. That don't mean I don't like you. You just say one thing I don't agree with. But Kanye is the most prominent with doing that. But if you pay attention to him, he speaks out in various interviews in various degrees. You just got to unravel what he's saying. But he still.
That's what I thought too. I'm just saying when I don't just automatically jump when they get on, be like, oh, you see what the hell you said on this interview? I'm like, let me think through it first before I just be like, ah, oh, damn, that nigga fucked up. He don't care about black people. He ain't for us. Like, I never thought about that with Kanye. And I really don't with anybody. You know, I'ma always try to break down what you said and think why you said it and what are you really meaning by what you said. So when he go on his rants and say certain things, I just always try to think it through with the whole, we chose to be slaves and a lot of us still are choosing to be slaves.
But that's given in degrees again, because that's what I'm saying. So how the world see black people and how black people actually are, you have to understand. You living in an entrepreneurial system, America. You can come over here and be anything you want to. You choose to still go to work. That's basically what he's saying. A slave is somebody who just ain't free. If you got to go to work, if you got to go to work and your daughter got a game or your son got a game and they tell you if you leave and you want to go to that game, you're fired, you a slave. You can't do what you want to do. So he was speaking in degrees. Some stuff you got to unravel. I can't sit right here and articulate everything from A to Z for you to understand. And some stuff you got to already have some form of understanding anyways. So again, I was seeing him speak about how he stopped playing a victimization role. Black people play the victimization role. They play the victims about everything. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, you can be the prey or you can be the one that's being ate on.
So you think he meant when he said that as he was meaning by when he snatched that reward from that girl and was like, Beyonce deserved the award, whatever the fuck it was for. Because he was kind of basically saying like, y'all only gave it to her because she white. If we would have been this color, whatever, y'all know we did a good job. Beyonce deserves this award.
I'm not gonna say everything was a color thing. I'm gonna just say probably there was a Gemini in him. Some stuff, everything we do ain't always gonna be right. You know what I mean? So I ain't saying he was wrong. I ain't saying he was right. I don't understand his angle for that. But the fact that he did it, name another person that would do it besides Kanye, really feeling like it. You know what I respect about him? A man is somebody when he believes in something, he stand up for it. So if Kanye believed it, I respect him for standing up for it. That don't make him right or wrong, but he believed it and he stood up for it.
He could have lost it all.
You know what happened when people see your conscience start raising, they see so-called black people doing better, making strides, they be like, yeah, man, I be on that. I be reading that too. But why you ain't never saying nothing? Why you gotta wait till I do something? You see what I'm saying? That's how people do. So the fact that Kanye stood up, I respect him because he believed in that, and that's what he done as a man. That's what a man is to me.
True. So, you shouldn't feel like you shouldn't touch she come in. Is that something like that? Yeah. Touch she come in. Yeah, they shouldn't. I done seen that a lot though. Like I'll be up on it. I feel the same. I ain't say nothing though. Why?
Look, man, the culture of black people, and it's the truth, will devalue you. They'll depreciate you. You know what I mean? They'll go get all these outside entities that invest in a system of European supremacy but then they'll come to you and want to give you cents on a dollar. One of the issues that I've been having running a business with Star Apparel is people keep trying to treat my stuff like a side hustle. You know what I mean? You can't DM Michael Jordan. You can't DM Gucci. You can't DM Reebok and ask them, hey man, y'all got that Reebok? if I'm Reebok and I'm on Reebok, of course I got it.
Yeah.
But if I'm telling you, when you wanna buy Gucci, you either go in the store or you go online, and that's how you buy it. So people will keep trying to treat you like a side hustle, knowing you running a full functioning business. But it's a function to the way you operate, meaning you already know what's going on. You know we're being killed. Let's just accept that and move forward. Now the issue is, how do we stop them from doing it? They don't have no plan of action. After we go out in March, there's no follow-up plan of action after that. You see what I'm saying? That's why you see them start storming buildings, breaking stuff, but there's no plan of action. After that, it's disorganized. So what I'm saying to you is, why I'm going to go out there in this March, and then a conflict of interest arise, people start breaking buildings, and you know how the luck of the world is. They ain't gonna get the people who done it just because it's little old me. I'll be the one to get caught for it. You know what I'm saying? Something I got to pay for.
Exactly. I told myself I never been a protester. I mean, honestly, I feel like protesting is an type of age person. Younger people, I feel like, yeah, y'all can go out there. Me, I'm not protesting. Strictly because I don't believe there's any change in protesting. I mean, it brings awareness. There's a difference between bringing awareness and then it brings some actual change. I ain't seen nothing good come from nobody protesting. That's just me. I mean, I could be wrong, and I'm pretty sure I am, but I'm just standing on, I never protest. But what I will do, I'm going to boycott. If you tell me don't spend money with these people, guess what? I ain't spending a bitch ass thing with them. Yeah. I'm out for that. Yeah. But going out there walking a mile and doing, that's just not for me. You know, for some people, like, and I think maybe younger people, that it's fine. It's okay to protest, but me and I can't do it because as I'm walking and chanting and doing this, I just like, after this, what's gonna happen when we go home? Or, you know, are we gonna go home and turn on the news and they're gonna say, well, after a 5-hour protest, the judge or they finally decided and they ruled in y'all favor? It just don't work like it. I mean, I've never seen it work like it, but I feel like if you hold that dollar of yours, some change is gonna come.
Definitely gonna come.
Some change is most definitely gonna come. You don't spend that dollar.
What's gonna happen is your people gonna be able to tell you, man, I can spend my money with these people. We ain't saying you can't. It's your money. You can spend what you want to. But when we move together as one political body and one action, you'll see how fast people get off key to make sure they have their newest drip or whatever the case may be. So then again, it goes back to not judging people. It goes back to say, okay, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna get my family in order and do what I gotta do for me. So that's why I'm at. It's, you know, person like you said, if you want to march, you want to pray, go ahead and do all that. What I'm gonna be doing is getting my family infrastructure in order to making sure I change what's on the inside of me and then go outside. I had a post the other day that I ended up posting. It said, yesterday I was wise. Yesterday I was intelligent. I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. And once you take it to heart, you'll start to understand, ain't nothing, how you as a people, how you as one person gonna help the nation of black people. If you think you can do that, kudos to you. But if you can do it for, if you think you can do that, kudos to you, like I say. But once you get out there and you start seeing it, because what's gonna be happening, you're gonna be doing so much peace work, and you will get something as simple as somebody killing, a senseless killing. And everything you're working for gonna be put on the back burner, and then everybody gonna be hitting you up like, hey, where you at right now? Hey, I can only do the work when I'm here. If I leave and somebody get hurt or something, you know what I'm saying? Them too big of a shoe.
I'm gonna ask you this: what you think the world look like without black people?
That's a.
Now that I think, I'm not even sure if it would. I ain't even sure if it would be a world.
No, it wouldn't, because scientifically, and a lot of people not gonna like this. We know who the whole world was ushered through. You know, meaning you can go back to any book, biblical book, and this is the thing people gotta understand about religion. When y'all giving these kids religion and y'all telling them everybody came from Adam and Eve, the mind is automatic gonna function. What color was Adam and Eve? Who were they? How you gonna tell somebody we all come from one particular person? It says the world has made it to where you gotta think, was these people white or black? What color was they? Because if you telling me Jesus is the Son of God and you paint this picture white, they're basically telling you God is white. How could he be any other color? But then they're gonna tell you color don't matter. Well, color don't matter, why y'all paint him white? So if you telling me everybody come through Adam and Eve, so if Adam and Eve was the first two people on earth, then we know two white people can't do nothing but create a so-called white person. How in the hell anything else gonna come? And if you was a child when you had that little wet color paint set and you dip it in the water, if you dip all them colors in paint, you know what color it turned? It turned black. So everything come from black first, and that's what people be understanding. But it's an oxymoron type of answer because everybody say everything come from black. You gotta understand the difference between darkness and the difference between black. Darkness is when ain't no lights on in here and it's just dark and you think that's black. But when some light arises, you see the color in the room. Black is when no matter if it's light in this room or not, that motherfucker is black. Excuse my language. So people got to understand the difference between darkness, because in the beginning the world was dark and God said let there be light, so to speak. You know what I mean? So darkness did come first. So with that same scientific answer, the world had to be dark first.
That makes sense, man.
So but basically the world would not be nothing. They're not gonna tell you that the first scientist was Imhotep in ancient Egypt. He's the first multi-scientist that was doing all these things. But then they're gonna tell you about Socrates, about Plato's. But they learned from the ancient Egyptians. They went in there and studied. The first universities was in Timbuktu, the largest libraries, Alexandria and all that. That's what they burnt down. You know what I'm saying? So they always burn down books when they rewriting or revising history. Just like I was telling you earlier, they finna get ready to rewrite history again. So somebody say, okay, what do you mean? Anybody look this up? They got a Tennessee law bill called 0580, where they basically defunded schools for even teaching about black history from a historical point of racism. So with that being said, they rewrite and revise history, and they take out stuff to leave us without any links to link ourselves back to the family of nations. So again, it's a power structure to keep us ignorant, but we're not really ignorant. But the whole world is against you, but they don't mind getting money for you. You know, and when they got the so-called Black Lives Matter, you know, they had to go to stop the Asian hate because they had to have something to combat it, to diffuse and divert the attention of everything.
That makes sense. I feel like some people think like certain incidents are planned or happened by the government. I feel like they see an incident because they can blow any incident out of proportion, whichever one they want to. They can blow it out of proportion whenever, however. It can be about a Pop-Tart that somebody unraveled and it was all black. They can do whatever. But like with the Asian hate thing, I feel like that was something that they seen and said, okay, we can use this as a distraction or a turning point to kind of, you know, veer away from the big issue with us.
Yeah.
You know, but what I was thinking about with how the world looks at black people. I'm using an example. What's the guy's name they did the documentary on Netflix? The football player played for the Patriots. What's his name? Y'all? What's his name?
Aaron Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
Now he's mixed. What is he? Mexican. Yeah. But I always assumed he was black, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are probably Mexican and black. So I'm probably sure a lot of people assumed he was black.
Yeah.
Now I'm not sure how he got looked at before the whole incident. I seen the documentary. I'm not sure how he got looked for before the whole incident, but after that, he was this thug ass nigga who's slanging, killing people, and shooting up clubs, and this, that, and the third. And it's like,
Are you read the book? Or you seen the documentary?
I haven't read the book. I seen the documentary. Yeah, so I can only imagine how he was looked at beforehand. He probably was looked at, oh, it's a mixed kid, you know, you got all the whites on your side, you know. So now it's this thug ass nigga, you know, who likes to kill people at nighttime on the off season, and this is what you get. This is your thug, you know. But it's like they didn't have to place him as that type of person, and you know, on the news. But I feel like things like that just show, okay, y'all. Anybody with black in their skin can be a thug. Anybody can be, you know. If they not all white, you know, you can't put 100% trust in them, you know. So
well, that goes to the black and brown. This hate, they're gonna put us in the same ethnic group when it comes to that. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna get into your question. If anybody been incarcerated, they give you ID. They only play black and white. The only thing you got in there black and white and Asian. Don't you know anybody that's a Mexican? Guess what they call say? White.
really,
The reason why they call say white is because we're not the minority. for their numbers to look good, to keep the political structure, they will label Mexicans white. So when the numbers roll in, they say white people outnumber black people in the United States. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's all a numbers game. It's a movie out. Y'all probably watched it with y'all kid. I think it's called A Bug's Life or Ant Life, whatever the case may be. The mosquitoes was trying to control the ants, and they told them if the ants knew that they outnumbered us, they would overthrow us just like that. So to keep them down, they make it seem you seen that.
Yeah, I remember.
So that's the same thing with them. They gotta always label the Mexicans on paper as white, so they can count them in the numbers. But to tell the truth, and the Mexicans might get mad, the oldest civilization in America is the Olmecs. The Olmecs is called the Rubber people. And Christopher Columbus journals documented. He tell you what the people look like when he got out the boats, and he was playing with dreads like yours, locks, because dreads was the name that mean but locks like yours, and people kicking a black rubber ball, and they in the Yucatan down in Mexico, the stoneheads is gigantic. Black people paint their face black, but at the end of the day, what happened was when the conquistadors came over here and landed in Central America, they started raping them, and that's how they became lighter. And if you go to Mexico, they have the face of the people that look like me. You got Afro, they call them Afro-Latinos. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, so what I'm saying is when you saying Mexican, we the same people. Cardi B, she the same as us. That's why everybody like her. She has a nice personality. She ain't number us. They just got raped and they end up turning lighter. So the Mexican brothers can be upset, but that's really true. Now all of them will get upset with you. A lot of them will get upset with you for speaking like it, because you're almost like it's like you're trying to take away their culture.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. Everybody has to come through the dark. Yeah. The original people of every land got to be dark first. You see what I'm saying? Because all this wasn't built. We was living off the land. A lot of people can't even live in the sun. It'll kill them. It'll burn them. So we talking scientifically true. So when you talking about Hernandez, you talking black and brown people, talking the same people. But what the structure would do with label is label them white, so they'll get their numbers up, and they need another ally. So when they numbers fall, they can say, okay, Asians, we gave y'all a bill. Joe Biden passed a bill to get him some money within 1 year. Asians got beat up for 1 year. They saying stop Asian hate, got a bill passed. So-called black people can't get that. You see what I'm saying? So this is what the so-called black people be upset about. But if you know the structure is against you, you got to figure out how you can still move and not let that be not let that hinder you. So this is what, and again, I'm on the opposite side of that to say so-called black people, we got to stop complaining. It is what it is.
Like I was seeing the interview on Breakfast Club with Dr. Umar, and everybody used Trump as a scapegoat. Like, Trump is not the reason you don't have a job. Trump is not the reason you live in poor. Trump is not the reason your car's not working, or you can't get your shit together, or your niggas cheating, or that. Trump is not the reason for everything. Like, people just threw his name out there like, because of Trump, and this shit fucked up, and ain't no fucking meat in the store, probably because of Trump's ass. Like,
but guess what though? If you study Trump, you'll study a wolf. See, that's what we failing to realize. When we see them, we hate something they say. But if you look at Trump and study him, think about it. Think about this. What do every street cat want to do? He want to get money, bail his dogs out, and put them in position. What did Trump do? He bailed all his people out, got him on Supreme Court judge, said fuck the world. He's a real gangster, you know what I mean? Despite what he say, and you ain't got to like what he say. What did Trump do? He wanted to keep the world open so we can make money. You know what I mean? Half of people lost their businesses closing down. Everybody want to go party. I was mad that everything was closed down. Trump was trying to open all this up. Now, I don't agree with his politics and the way he go about things, but if you studied him, you'll be winning. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'll be trying to tell people. We got to stop being emotional, because they know once they get us emotional, they can win. Europeans in America, they are the mind. So-called black people in America, we are the heart. We move off the heart. We feel like the justice system not right. We just live off our emotion, and that might not be right, but they saying, I don't care if it's not right. We're going to use the mind. These people literally went to every land and conquered, knowing it's wrong to kill and pillage and rape the land and rape them people, but for them to survive, to have somewhere to live, they had to do that. Now, is they wrong morally? Yes, but God made the universe don't work like that. It don't care if you white, black, Mexican. It's saying if you don't know the laws of nature, then you're going to lose. If you look at nature, when a lion killed the gazelle on the Sahara Desert, that's not a murder. That's nature. He got to eat that to survive. So humans, you got to understand, when these people came from a foreign land and seeing all these people, all this land right here, they're like, hey man, we finna man, we ain't finna go back to living over there.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna take his land. Now, morally, you got to deal with God. They got to deal with God, so-called God, whatever people call God. But for them to survive, they done what they had to do. So I'm not telling people to start a race war. I'm not telling people to do none of that. I'm telling you, you better start studying these people that's making these moves and that you hate so much. Because if you study them, you will see they move. So my advice to people, study Trump. He a gangster to me.
It's crazy because when you said about, taking over others people's land, I thought about San Andreas. They put the black guy on there. What's your mission? To go take over this hood.
Yeah.
Like, you got to go take over this hood, then take over another hood. It's like, our black people quick to go take over niggas' hood. Like, that becomes niggas' dreams. Like, I'm going to take over their hood, take all their sales, that's my corner store. Like,
but guess what though?
movie.
And niggas end up doing it. Have you ever seen a nigga say, man, I'm going to be the Birdman in this hood, and he set out and he do it? Think if we thought like that about the world. That's how the European did. He said, I'm going to take over the world. See, we just want to take over the hood. And we end up being the Birdman in the hood. We got all the sales. We run in the hood. The European said, I'm going to take over the world. And he set out to do that. So that's the difference in the functionality of things. It's the way you think, man. You got to think bigger. Your dreams got to be so big. They say be around people that when you talk about winning, they don't feel like you bragging. Yeah. The moment you dealing with your people and you start being an entrepreneur and you start winning, you acting different. I ain't acting different. I got more to lose. Exactly. I'm thinking a little bit more. I can't go out and drink like that. I ain't going to do that. But the turn up be so real, people look like they winning. They not actually winning, man. They not actually winning. They just looking like that, man. These people be having $1 million contracts, and when they in the league, they balling. They got plenty of money. But as soon as they quit playing, they don't got money no more. What does that mean? That mean they living above their means. They wasn't actually winning, man. It's only a few people. Magic Johnson. There's only a few people got the league that still be balling because they made good moves. Rick Ross winning right now. He actually invested. These rappers be broke, man. You know what I mean? And it ain't a knock on nobody. Just to say the culture, we got it so bad to where we've been deprived and disenfranchised and ain't had anything. The moment we get a little glimpse of light, we're going to make it look more than what it is. Exactly. Now, if you're using that to function to be a rapper to get to where you go, and go ahead and do what you got to do. But don't lie to yourself when the money get to coming in. Don't lie to yourself. When MC Hammer went broke trying to keep everybody around him, man, y'all ain't looking at these people, man. You're not finna do nothing different. The history repeat itself if you don't know history. So my thing is, man, I swear, if you don't start reading in 2021, man, you ain't gonna get what's going on. I had people attack me for making certain posts of the day, but like I say, I'm so happy that I ain't happy. It was like a sign from the universe that they passed that law with Tennessee defunding schools for even talking about systemic racism, because my own people, my loved ones, attacked me for making that post. Talk about sending your children to an all-European school.
That just confirms, like, I'm not, seeing this, like, look, that's just a sign from the universe. Yeah. Like, after you got what you got, you seen that and like, okay, I'm not fucking crazy. I know what I'm talking about. I know I'm not wrong. I know I'm not neglecting or disrespecting anybody. So we're gonna go and try to wrap this up, man. One more thing that was on my mind is how far do you see black people have came, and how far do you think we have to go?
All right, it's a two-part question. The first part, when you look at us being the original people of every land, building all the pyramids and the infrastructure and having all the ancient knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we fell to the lowest point of humanity. We ain't went nowhere, because if my daddy owns, since we in Nashville, let's just say my daddy owned Rivergate Mall and it get took by colonialism, and they tell me I can have one store in the mall, and people happy that we got one store in the mall. I'm not happy. We had all this at first. So we had all the land at first. It got took from us. But when you look at slavery and all the stuff we've been through to come right now, because even through slavery we couldn't read. So for us to be, man, this is what y'all really got to question. For us to be in slavery, being killed for being reading, trying to have any understanding, y'all got to look at all the inventions that we made to stop, like George Washington with the peanut butter, you know what I'm saying? Jack Johnson with the wrench. But for us to make out there, how we couldn't read, but we was making all this during slavery time. That's what you always got to ask yourself. So the narrative is always lying. They always deceptive. But at the end of the day, for us to be put in slavery, lost our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, lost the ways of God's law, whatever you call God, and to come to right now, to being able to read and our kids still functioning, yeah, we done came a long way, and we got to give ourselves credit for that. But the journey never stops. But at the same time, we still, all it takes for one person to do something ignorant, and the narrative stays in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? This is something you got to remember. Negative, and the word positive supposed to outweigh negative, but negative outweigh the positive. As soon as you see something ignorant, you aroused by it. I want to see, you know what I'm saying, housewives. I want to see bad bitch stripper club. I want to see all that. But as soon as somebody do something positive, they'll open up a shoe store. It get a little crazy.
Yeah.
But see, let your dad be on the news going out in the blaze of glory. That'll be what they remember you for.
Yeah.
So negative outweigh positive. Remember that when you're trying to so-called change the world, man. One wrote thing, a teacher wrote 1 through 10 on the board. And she went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. All the kids pointed out, laughed at them, said you missed out 7. That's how the world do you. You can do 10 things through your whole journey in life that was good. The moment you do one wrong thing, the world will criticize you and crucify you for that one thing. I was just on the news, man. They down talking for me to get out right now, so it's the same situation. I was just on the news. You know what I mean? People saying it's gonna be free haircuts in the penitentiary, talking crazy about me and my brother. You see what I'm saying? And this real story, but look at me now. Out to get out. I didn't sit in jail thinking like, man, damn, man, I ain't gonna have shit when I get out. I got out there, motherfucker. I came with a dream. I made a clothing line, doing business internationally. What they gonna say? So what I'm saying to you is, I didn't feed into the narrative of how they look at black people. I got in my own corner and said, I don't give a fuck what the odds is. Man, you know why niggas end up getting money hustling? Every nigga don't get money just jumping to the game and he have money. He failed so many times with hustling, flipping, passion until he just keep going, he consistent, and then one day, boom, you explode, you got money. That's how niggas got money. It's the same thing with an entrepreneur, same thing with business. People don't open up shit and it just boom one day. They keep going, they keep going, they keep going, and boom, your business boom. All you need is one good year, man. And the pandemic was, like I told people, the pandemic was the greatest transfer of wealth from rich to poor people. If you had a business functioning at that time, you can take off. But what they did was say, nah, y'all focus on the corona, focus on the pandemic. This many people dying. Man, listen, more people die from falling off the bed and smoking crack or drinking. More people die from alcohol than a damn corona died, man. The truth is, everybody gonna die. Everybody gonna die. We can't stop, the world can't stop people dying. So the way people die, that's between them and God, you know what I'm saying? But your health, they not telling people that if you eat good, exercise, and go through all day, you ain't really got to worry about the corona. You know what I'm saying? You wash your hands, you're a sanitary person. That's all good. But what I'm saying is, don't focus on the pandemic, man. Focus on you and getting your affairs in order, man. And that's how you should see the world.
I see. I see now, as far as like how far we done come. Like some people look at like, man, black people ain't going nowhere, man. They ain't changing. Them niggas ain't never gonna change. But with younger people, man, I've been seeing a lot of change in younger people. Their attention is starting to go elsewhere. I don't, you know, I still do see the gangs and the violence and, you know, stuff like that, and, you know, but I see a lot of more younger people trying to get into other things now, as far as like, yeah, starting business, whether it goes somewhere or not. Like, it's just the fact that your mindset is somewhere else at 18 years old.
Right.
Then mine was at 18 years old, or somebody's who's born in the 80s was at 18 years old. Like, I see a lot more younger black people now. You know, it's like, whether it's always the same thing. I'm gonna get out of high school and I'm gonna go do hair and do nails. You know, and that's cool. You're thinking that way. You know, that's a good mindset to start off with.
Right.
You know, as far as with younger black kids, man, like even if it's hooping or playing ball, it's more like, you know, I see how they got their whole team. You know, I never seen this at my age.
Yeah.
I didn't never see a whole team of nobody coming together and doing like, they gonna pull up on you what you need, you know, what you got in mind, we got you. I've never seen that at my age, so that just let me know like I'm seeing the change in black people. It's slowly but for surely happening. I don't know when it's fully gonna transition, where it's just gonna be like, hey, we hear y'all, like, you know, where.
See, what happened was, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
What happens is the world always reset us back. So if you ever heard of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, whatever the case may be, that was the first in a couple city blocks. It was first in business. They bombed and set us back. You know, we go to the civil rights. We start to gain power again. They set us back again.
That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. So even though you're seeing this, we got to be careful not to be set back through the political and power structure who's organized and know how to do this. And the reason why I mentioned those current times in history was, if you look at the civil rights, you know, you gotta ask yourself this question. Martin Luther King didn't have a job. He went around the world preaching. Bill still got to get paid. How was Martin Luther King making money? Martin Luther King was making money because he was funded by the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers is the same 13 so-called bloodlines that people hear about. The George Soros, the Bilderbergs, the Rockefeller, they was funding him. The reason why they fund him is because I can keep an eye in on your investigation. So this is why you have to be careful who you take money from. So what I'm saying, even though you're seeing this Black Lives Matter, you see the NAACP, you got to be careful who they're funded by because they can always be infiltrated and vacated. You see what I'm saying? So even though you're seeing this, that's a great thing. But what I'm saying to you, some will come in and set us back just because that's the whole game. Listen here, man. Life always got polarities, man. You got man, you got woman. You got up, you got down. You got black, you got white. It's always got to be an adverse effect. Every movie got to have a protagonist and an antagonist, a good person and an evil person. Watch it. Just pay attention. That's how the world operates, man. And these people know that, man. They done studied this shit for years, man. Don't you know when you go in the grocery store, you can have a grocery list. Going there knowing this is what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. The way they set up the grocery market store, you'll go in there and still grab something else. But as soon as you get right there, they got the candy bar. As soon as you walk in, no, a nigga love chocolate or some old shit. You feel me? Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is like, you gotta write a plan and stick to it, man. Look, man, go home and write down something, man, and stick to it, man. It's magical. That's why it's called spelling, because you cast the spells, man. Go home and write that shit down, man. And stick to that plan. Even though you might get off track a little bit, because when you get off track, you can pull your paper out and say, all right, I'm off track and now I see this. Because if your significant other come to you and see it in the wrong way, you might get upset. And they might mean the best for you. Man, you off track. Man, all the bills paid, man. What you mean I'm off track? You think, you know what I'm saying? But put that paper out, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it get real, man. You got to study yourself, man. The most ancient way is know thyself. That means know yourself. Once you know yourself, can't nobody trick you out of nothing else. You don't dress like nobody else. You don't spend no money where you ain't welcome. You know what I mean? You gotta know yourself, man.
I think when I start beginning to know myself, it's when in my childhood, what you would call superstars from the hood, I didn't really look at them in that light anymore. It's like, I don't really want to be like them. No, I don't care about, I grew up admiring them and stuff, but it's like, I'm gonna try being my own self, man. I'm gonna try being me. I'm gonna try, walking my own walk, wearing my own, clothes and being me and being myself. And ever since I thought like that, which is somehow how I want to raise my son, I want to give him everything, but not too much. Just enough to not be impressed by another man. Mm-hmm. I don't need you going out there and seeing, or I don't want you going out there and saying, oh, but Dad, this guy had these rims on his car or something. I want to educate him like, son, you can build rims yourself, or you can, and draw them yourself. You can be the one that sells rims to this guy or people like him or something. So, I don't want him to be easily influenced by some of the smallest things that doesn't, matter, that doesn't really bring any type of, it doesn't, So I don't want him like that. I'm going to try my hardest to not let him go that route or let him, see things like that. I mean, I can't help what he sees, I'm not his eyes or his ears, but, I'm going to try to put as much into it as I can. But that's one of my fears is not being able to, I don't want him growing up as I did. And I had that a lot.
No, that's every parent. Your concern let you know that you're always on the right track. But I'm going to ask you a question. Have history ever taught you about the person who just listened to society and just, they say, go to work, go to home, go to sleep, and you don't know about them people history. You know about the people who went against the status quo. You hear about the Rosa Parks, the Nat Turner, the Elijah Muhammad. You know about Patrice Lumumba. Khalid Muhammad. You hear about these people because they went against the power structure. Mm-hmm. The Jesus that everybody loved, he was killed because he came to say free the people. Y'all listen to people. He was killed by the same people that's doing what we doing now. The Romans, it's the same fight, man. They killed Jesus, you know what I mean? And they turn around and come over here, they kill the natives, and then you got the police killing us. It's the same too. It's Christians or Muslims, black people or white people. It's the same political fight. This is not a new fight, man. That's what is when you start recognizing it, you start saying, okay, this is a fight that's been going on since the beginning of time. It won't stop. It won't stop. But what you got to do is you got to learn how you got to play the game. You got chess and you got checkers. They use the same board, but it's different pieces the way they move. Everybody out here playing checkers, man. These people playing chess, man. The board look the same. They just doing it different. You see what I'm saying? So you on the right track with your son, man. I wouldn't. The fact that you think like that, it lets me know that you already, he gonna be okay. But when you look at when for instance, you were saying you see people with rims, you want your son to be able to make the rims. One day I was in a club, I had an epiphany. We in the club. They got the section, they got the booths, right? The homies, let's just say, I'm hypothetically speaking, we from Nashville, I know everybody watching this, so look, let's say people from out west, I'm not particularly talking about nobody, you got north, south, east, and west. The people from out west pop the balls, you see the niggas out east look up like, damn, I got to pop the balls, and there's a competition going on. But look, check this out, guess how you can be manipulated. And when the club want people to pop balls, guess what they do? They play the yo gotta see them bottles in the way, them sparklers on the way. Now niggas gotta pop bottles, you being manipulated. Check, guess what? You ever bought some liquor not going to the club? You ever bought they cheap as hell. By $50. Guess how much they is in the club? $400. You're gonna pay $400 for that same bottle. It's $50. Then you're gonna tip the waitress. The waitress gonna go get the bottle from the back. They don't own it. You're gonna give her $400. You're gonna give her another $50 on top of that. She gonna take the $50. Go take them $350. They paid $50 for the bottle. Then you looking at the dude in the club like he own the club. He ain't doing nothing but leasing the space for 5 years to the community. He owned it, but he really don't own it. As soon as the white man want to take it back, he's back gone. So what I'm saying to you, stop being manipulated, man. Start looking at the game for what it's worth, man. Upsell, man. Don't matter what you get it for, upsell. I don't care what your products and service costs. This is what mine is. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, stop being a consumer, man. Did y'all seen Baby Boy, right? You seen when he pulled, what's his homeboy, Pete? When he pulled him to the side, say, look, Pete, you know what I'm saying? It's commerce out here. Look, these people buying and selling everything. You feel me? Man, you got to buy and sell, man. There's so many interactions going on. So sometimes, man, I'm just in the club and I'm seeing all this. I'm like, man, I ain't popping another bottle, man. What type of music they play when they're ready for you to leave? They slow it down, don't they? They slow it down. Everybody look up, man. It's time to go, man. You feel me? Man, I'm telling you, bro. Don't think you ain't influenced by music, bro. Don't think you ain't influenced. So look, I'm telling y'all, listen, man. Check this out. I'm not talking lyrically, but Nipsey Hussle, one of the best rappers if you're trying to be an entrepreneur. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, that man dropping some gems like a motherfucker. I'm not talking lyrics. Now, if you want to ride around, bust some heads, go to the penitentiary, go and listen to a bunch of them young niggas and all that. But if you're trying to learn entrepreneurship, go listen to Nipsey Hussle. There's plenty more people, but he my favorite person to listen to because I'm at that point right now. I'm trying to make a change, and I want to make finance, but I don't want to work for nobody. Man, Nipsey Hussle dropping so much game, man. And there's plenty of other rappers doing. Jay-Z might have done it, you know what I'm saying? But Jay-Z not a person I really listen to. I'm just talking Nipsey Hussle. But what I'm saying to you is, when people be saying people the best rapper, are we talking money? Or are we talking lyrics?
Yeah.
Because sometimes a verse got to have substance. So what I'm saying to you is...
you got three things. This will go into another topic. But you got money, lyrics, and knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, so I like listening to Kanye West. Because I feel like he drops knowledge. So as some people like... I don't care about that. I would say he's one of the best rappers because the knowledge that he drops. And someone would say, oh, that nigga's trash, or he used to be good, but I listen to music for the knowledge now, not for the lyric. The lyrics is entertaining, but now in my life, I want to listen to it for knowledge. What can I get out of this music if I'm going to be sitting bumping it for 3 fucking hours or 2 hours a day for 7 days a week, 31 days out of what can I get out of this? I want to hear something, some type of gem. But that's what I had to say. My bad.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me though, man. It's always a pleasure, man.
But we're going to go and wrap it up, man. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, this is Sit Down Sundays. We're at Jefferson Street, 1801, Suite 204, here at the Soul Socket. Once again, if you are open-minded, we would like to have any and everyone come up here and sit down with us. Thanks. That's it.
All right, peace.